Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Leonard French and I'm here to talk about copyright and trademark fair use basics. First, let me thank you for watching and liking and commenting on my other videos. I have been floored by how positive and encouraging everyone has been, and I'm really looking forward to making more videos for you. So today is the big sport ball game here in the United States. That means the NFL and their attorneys are hard at work issuing cease and desist and other takedown notices for content that they feel infringes upon their trademarks and copyrights. But not all uses of the Super Bowl or the big game constitute copyright or trademark infringement, and that's the subject of today's video. First, I'll discuss the purpose of copyright and trademark, the purpose of fair use, and then I'll get into one of the most important copyright decisions that just happened last year, Lentz versus Universal Music. Now, copyright and trademark protect different things and therefore have different definitions of fair use. When people talk about fair use on YouTube, they are usually talking about copyright fair use, although the two can coincide. Copyright protects creative works, I'm oversimplifying here, giving the author protection for their own life plus 70 years after their death for any works that were created January 1st, 1978 or later. Copyright gives the author exclusive control over copying and distribution, the creation of derivative works like fan fiction, merchandising, etc. However, if the author could control absolutely all copying, then no one could ever write anything about the works, and that starts to infringe upon the freedom of speech. Imagine if the only articles that the NFL ever allowed to be printed were those saying positive things and all others were issued takedown notices. That would be untenable, so an exception was carved. The concept of fair use is very old. It has evolved from purely case law in the US to now be codified in 17 U.S.C. 107 in the Copyright Act of 1976. Fair use is a balancing test, meaning that judges are given the discretion to weigh the factors and make a decision based upon the evidence. But fair use is not just an exception. In 2007, Stephanie Lentz uploaded a video of her kids dancing to Prince's Let's Go Crazy, which was then later taken down by Universal Music under the guise of copyright infringement. After a long court battle, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that copyright owners must consider all the fair use factors before issuing takedown notices for content on the internet. That means subjectively looking at the use and applying a reasonable analysis as to whether the content is allowed by fair use or some other part of copyright law. If they are wrong but issue a takedown anyway, then they are exposed to a counterclaim on whether the takedown was issued in bad faith or otherwise improper. A full court battle could ensue. So we're halfway through the video, and I haven't even touched on the fair use factors. But it's important to know the why in order to understand the what. When considering whether a use of another's copyrighted material is a fair use, there are 4 factors. Each is important, and each must be considered. The first factor is the purpose and the character of the use, including whether the use was commercial or nonprofit or educational. This factor weighs in favor of fair use when the use is less commercial and more nonprofit or educational. Consider copying steps from a repair manual as part of an engineering class. That would more likely be a fair use. Less likely would be someone copying a piece of artwork and selling it on the street. The second factor of fair use considers the nature of the original work. This factor considers the original work's creativity. Is it a collection of facts, such as a phone book or a documentary? Or is it a whole new work of art, wholly created in the author's mind, a complete work of fiction, a complete work of creativity? The more creative a work is, the less likely using it is a fair use. The third factor is the amount and substantiality of the portion of the copyrighted work that was used. This factor compares how much of a copyrighted work was used, but it does it in 2 ways. We are to consider not just the length or area that was copied, but also the substance or heart of what was copied. Posting an entire episode of a show and adding a few seconds of commentary is very likely not a fair use, but posting a few seconds of a show and adding a lot of commentary is more likely a fair use. One day the law will figure out mashups, but today is not that day. The fourth and final factor is the effect that the use will have on the potential market for or value of the original work. This factor considers the impact that the use has on the market for the copyrighted work. A lawyer's fair use video is not at all likely to impact the market for the actual Super Bowl, but someone who may stream a broadcast of the Super Bowl online is much more likely to impact the market. So those are the 4 copyright fair use factors, and that's a lot to consider every time you want to use copyrighted material without express permission. To make it worse, there's more. There's also trademark fair use. Again, without trademark fair use, no one would be allowed to write about a company's products without their express permission. Trademark fair use isn't nearly as complicated. Basically, a non-owner may also use a trademark nominatively, that is by name, to refer to the original trademark or source of the goods. United States law protects product criticism and analysis and actually encourages nominative uses for product comparison. And trademark infringement is always governed by a test of whether the marks are confusingly similar, as in, would the consumer be confused as to the source of the goods, or would they be able to distinguish between the 2 marks? So that's my introduction to copyright and trademark fair use. Please subscribe to make sure you see my next fair use video on the top myths of fair use and copyright infringement. I am greatly encouraged by all of your comments and questions. Please keep them coming and stay cool. I love you all. Thanks for watching. Okay, I think there's minimal glare in my glasses and we're almost ready to go. Let's see, focus. There's an echo in this room now that I have closed the doors. Crap. We'll have to just deal with it.